Hello, my crafty friends. Today I am sharing two cards. Both of them are pop-up cards, and they are for a collaboration blog hop between the design team of Burniston and the design team of Sassy and Crafty. So it's going to be lots of fun. I will have all of the information linked on my blog, which will be linked in the description box below. So my card today is a pop-up. And I started my card with the Sassy and Crafty Flutterby stamp set. Some beautiful butterfly images, and I love the sentiments that are included. As soon as I saw the bold black outline on this stamp set, I knew what I wanted to do with it. So my card is larger than A2. It is 4.5 by 6 inches, and it fits in an A6 envelope. But I didn't have 12 by 12 black cardstock to make my 6-inch card base. So what I did is I took my 11.5-inch sheet of cardstock, cut it at 4.5, so my cardstock then was 8.5 by 4.5, and I scored it at 5 inches. That gave me my card, lots of room for the pop-up inside, and I like that you get a peek at the inside as the card comes out of the envelope. I used Burniston's crosshatch squares to die cut a white cardstock panel, white embossed one of the butterfly images, and then used my watercolor sprinkles. So think Brusho or Ken Oliver's Color Bursts. These particular ones are retired from Stampin' Up. So I sprinkled that on the panel, gave it a spritz with my water bottle, and I love the movement of the color. Now, because it's always totally random, you never know what you're going to get. I do keep a paintbrush handy, a water brush, and I was able to move some of the color around because there were some blank spots in the butterfly and I didn't want that. Once the panel was dry, I outlined the butterfly with a gray Copic marker. I gave the whole panel a spritz with shimmer spray, and then decided I wanted the butterfly to sparkle even more. So I went over each of the areas with a Wink of Stella pen and then added stickles into the circle openings. Then I had some black self-adhesive gems in my stash and I added those. I pulled out Burniston's word set 8, Celebrate, die cut the word Celebrate from black cardstock and then went over it with the Wink of Stella as well. And now this rainbow paper here is not actually patterned paper. It is washi tape from Doodlebug Designs. And for the border here, which is Burniston's Border Blends Argyle, I added 2 strips of washi tape to a strip of white cardstock and then ran that through the die cutting machine. So that gave me my rainbow colors. I just liked that the colors all matched. I didn't have any pattern paper in these particular colors. And then to do the square, I added a strip of washi tape across the bottom and the top. I had pre-measured the square so I knew how big it was going to be. And then I just added little torn strips on either side and then die cut it with the largest of the crosshatch rectangles. Running it through the die cutting machine, the pressure really makes sure that the washi tape adheres well down to your cardstock so there's no danger of it lifting. And I quite like the little crosshatch detail it gave as well. But inside this whole area here, I didn't cover that with washi tape. You're not going to see it anyhow, and I don't like to waste my supplies. Now this is something I do quite often. I used the cupcake pop-up. So you can see inside there where there is the cupcake shape, but if you disguise that shape with another shape, it becomes a very generic pop-up platform. So another of the crosshatch squares, a vellum doily from Stampin' Up, another of the crosshatch squares, and then another one of the butterflies, this time colored with Ohuhu alcohol markers in the same colors as the washi tape. The butterfly also got a blast with shimmer spray, and then I added stickles as well. And the beautiful background is done with this butterfly wings stencil, also by Sassy and Crafty. I used Tailored Expressions blending brushes and Catherine Pooler inks and just randomly blended color onto my white panel. I'm really liking stencils for adding a pop of color. The sentiment comes from the Flutterby stamp set, and of course the cupcake pop-up gives you this additional step, and that's what I mounted it onto. Quite often I will tie a ribbon through here and tie a ribbon to the front, but I chose not to do that on this one. Burniston's crosshatch circle popped up with thin foam tape, and then Burniston's Happy Birthday. And I die cut it from a black glittered cardstock. Some more gems were added. This diamond here is actually an offcut of one of the border pieces here. I just snipped it away from the border, popped it up onto this rainbow strip here, which is the washi tape that was adhered to a strip of white cardstock, and then I wrapped the edges around that and it glued it to the top of the card. So again, there's just no danger of that washi tape lifting or peeling. So that is my first card for the Sassy and Crafty Karen Burniston collaboration blog hop. And then my second card is also a pop-up, and this one uses the Pardon My Frenchie stamp set. Those images are so cute, like those sweet little faces. So that's the stamp set that I used. I pulled out some older patterned paper, kind of in a dog theme from my stash. It is called A Dog's Tale by Echo Park. And once again, this is not an A2 card. This one measures 4 by 6 inches. There's one of the stamps from the set, and I stamped it again onto a scrap of this bone print pattern paper and fussy cut it out so I could paper piece the bag. The hello and the bone were cut from black glossy cardstock, and the bone comes from Karen Burniston's dog and cat die set, and the hello comes from Word Set 6 Summer. I actually stacked it. I cut it twice from an off-white cardstock and then once from the black glossy cardstock. Inside, I used Karen Burniston's flip frame pop-up. Now, when you are closing the card, you can see that the corner of the frame rubs along this side, and that's how the card closes. So you have to be careful that you don't put anything there as a catch point. So I have my signing block on this side. The doggone it comes from the Pardon My Frenchie stamp set. Once again, I used Karen Burniston's Happy Birthday die. This time it was cut from the same black glossy cardstock as the dog bones. And the rectangles here are from the new Slim Flaps and Frames by Karen Burniston. Here are the crosshatch circles, the frame and the ground that comes with the flip frame pop-up. And this little French bulldog here was stamped, colored with Copics. And I added the little flower spray, which is also included in the stamp set. Because you can see the frame as the card is opening, I die cut at the frame again from the same colored cardstock as the base and glued everything together, and then added just a strip of pattern paper to the arm to make it tie in a little better. The flip frame pop-up gives you lots of movement. It stands nicely for display, and you can animate all kinds of things. I haven't deviated very much from using the frame. I really like the size of the frame, the shape of the frame, so I tend to just use the flip frame pop-up as is, which is not what I typically do. I'm always looking for different ways to use the dies so I can show you and let you get more bang for your buck, as it were. But honestly, on this one, I still just keep doing it with the frame. I think it's darling. Please make sure and check my blog, which is linked in the description box below. You will have the full lineup for the blog hop, and I believe it's also going to be on Instagram. There will be prizes, so you'll want to hop along and see all of the cool inspiration from both design teams, as well as enter to win a chance for a prize. I would like to remind you, if you are leaving a comment on my blog or Instagram, that you make sure and leave me a way to get a hold of you. Blogger does not allow me to look at your comment and see your email address. So if you don't leave me an address or a way for me to get a hold of you, I have to keep drawing names until I find someone that has left me a way to get a hold of them. So make sure that you leave a comment. It would be awesome for one of my followers to win a great prize, but also please make sure and leave me a way to get a hold of you if you do win. If you enjoyed my cards today, please give my video a thumbs up and subscribe to see more. And that's it for me today.